In 2025, a modern record label needs to have a situation where the artist never has to look anywhere else but internally and feel supported throughout all stages of branding, content, and marketing. And that's the biggest value add that can happen, because as someone who also still has a functioning agency, you don't have that like marriage.
Mm-hmm.
We're still dating at the agency stage. And that's why I still have both, because it's given us a great overall infrastructure of like, this is the dating stage. And it gives us a great opportunity to say, this person they have all the tools, check all the boxes, work ethics out of control. It might be worth the conversation to talk about over here and bring them to the marriage phase, but they're used to that support. And that's like what just the industry as a whole is moving to. And if it's not, why would an artist want to sign somewhere if it's just a financial reason and not because they know that they're getting that support system through what we've kind of touched on as like the bad parts of the job?
I'd love for you to talk about why an artist should sign to a major label or an independent that is distributed by a major that has the major resources. Because I do think that major labels tend to get a bad rep, but I don't think it's all bad. I think there are a ton of success stories. And to your point, like if you want to compete and you want to get to these level 6, they're mostly on majors, those people. So I'd love for you to talk to me about, that journey of you going to and working at a label. And then what is it that you guys are doing that is right? Or what are major labels that are doing that are right?
100%. Yeah, I think the bad rep comes from people saying it's just money. Oh, well, you only sign with a label if you need like money now, but you might as well get a bank loan. Like,
you get a bank loan.
Like you hear that all the time.
I don't like that reference, by the way. It's a terrible one because you don't have to pay the loan back if it goes south.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At a major label where if you go and get a bank loan and it doesn't work out for you for $250,000, your credit is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
It's over for you essentially. Anyways,
and that used to be like the big qualm, and I'm sure that has been like case by case. There's instances you can point to where like an artist just signed because they needed cash now for something.
Sure.
And the label involved was like, we also agree, like we think we could have an ROI on this, and we'll do nothing. We'll just give you the money. You release a song, done.
Mm-hmm.
That's happened, but that's not every story ever, and that's not what a label in 2025 needs to do. It's about support. It's about everything that we've talked about. Like, are they supporting you in figuring out, no matter how big you are, figuring out and iterating on and supporting you in everything that is your brand and making you feel like your brand voice is actually your brand voice? Do you have that support system that understands that you can lean on? Do you have a full in-house content team? And this is what my department does. Do you have a full in-house content team where you don't have to look to the left or to the right and say, hey, my friend's cousin or so-and-so could film, can the label pay for it? I don't really like this editor, but the label's not giving me anyone to edit my stuff, and I don't have time because they need me to deliver all these songs. Can we pay for this editor who I found on Fiverr? Like, that should not happen.
Mm-hmm.
In 2025, a modern record label needs to have a situation where the artist never has to look anywhere else but internally and feel supported throughout all stages of branding, content, and marketing. And that's the biggest value add that can happen, because as someone who also still has a functioning agency, you don't have that like marriage.
Mm-hmm.
We're still dating at the agency stage. And that's why I still have both, because it's given us a great overall infrastructure of like, this is the dating stage. And it gives us a great opportunity to say, this person they have all the tools, check all the boxes, work ethics out of control. It might be worth the conversation to talk about over here and bring them to the marriage phase, but they're used to that support. And that's like what just the industry as a whole is moving to. And if it's not, why would an artist want to sign somewhere if it's just a financial reason and not because they know that they're getting that support system through what we've kind of touched on as like the bad parts of the job.
Right. How did you get involved with the label?
So I started consulting on what the build of the department, of audience engagement and digital marketing would look like. And then
how did you get to that though?
So the funny story is we went in just for an initial meeting, just for my content, just, hey, like, we want to meet you, just say what up. And then I was like, I loved that conversation. Like, I love the people. I'm like, let me just kind of show them like, let me just take a risk. Why not? Right? Like I have no goals. So I made a video, great artist, terrible marketing, and I just like ripped apart one of the artists on the roster, like just completely like ripped apart the entire content strategy, knowing like, and again, this is why it's not about how many views, it's who views. Like even as an artist, like are the right people seeing it? Didn't even really do that well. Everybody in the building saw it, called me back in, and they're like, we saw the video, like that was awesome. You come back in for another meeting, and then that's where we had talked about, okay, consulting on the build of the department. And then within like 2 weeks of just consulting, they were like, can you just build it and be the department? I was like,
so there was no department prior to
not
you doing
fully focused like at the level in which we're at now and building it.
Okay. And this happened in February?
Yes.
And today we're in July.
Mm-hmm.
By the time this comes out, probably August or September. What did you build? So where did you start and where is it at now?
So we started, it was myself and my VP, Anthony, who came over from the agency side, and also anecdote on him. We met my first day in LA. He's a songwriter, producer, and we were doing sessions together for like 2 years. And the first song we ever wrote, our reference was Last Night, Morgan Wallen. So it's like such a full circle moment now.
Crazy.
Crazy. So we were the first two together, and then we started to build our team slowly, like editors, videographers, strategists, producers, directors, and now we have
At Unleashed, sorry, or
at the label.
at the label.
At the label. The same system that we run at Unleashed in the agency. Like we need the artist support with videographers, editors, directors, shot lists, production, even if they're filming themselves, how do we give them like a virtual experience that would be if we were on set with them?
Yeah.
That's how we still operate to this day. We've built the department out now to where a lot of the artist rosters in Nashville, some is in LA, some are also scattered throughout. We've got, our base team here in LA of 14, and then we've got about 4 more down in Nashville between videographers, editors, people that are consulting. There are people that we have on retainer, but like they're kind of still full time, but we have like an awesome just whole situation.
18 in 6 months. It's a priority at this label. And you feel like this is the most important department at every label at this point?
Yes.
And listen, if you're an artist or manager watching this episode and you're trying to advance your career, execution and great advice is absolutely necessary. That's why I'm offering private one-on-one strategy sessions. These are fully personalized, just you and me tackling whatever you need in your career. Now look, with over 16 years of experience working with artists like Jesse Reyes and Eminem, or managers like Troy Carter and Tyler Henry, and brands like Nike and the Toronto Raptors, I can help you map out your next moves. Now, whether that's, your personal brand, creating a marketing plan, or building out your content schedule that actually provides results, or simply navigating the music industry to whatever is most relevant to where you're at, I want to help. You can now book a one-on-one consultation session for a fee with me through my Calendly. Find the link in the description below. Now let's get back to the pod with my man Ruff. Okay.
100%. We all kind of collectively feel that way because the content feeds the marketing feeds the content, and the branding informs the content.
Mm-hmm.
So like if the branding informs the content, and we have a marketing department
outside
separate
of this?
from us, and they're incredible because we work together.
Okay.
Our content feeds their grander marketing strategy of how do we amplify the content, and vice versa. And marketing says, well, when we amplify this kind of content for this artist, it yields great results. Let's make more content like that. So when we do the next song, us as the marketing department can use those same marketing channels to amplify that same kind of content. So we work together, 2 different departments.
Was that being developed at the same time as your department was being developed?
There was a marketing department at the time. They've also expanded as well.
Okay, at the same time. So come with that capital, man. that publicly traded money that allows you to build it out to that level, right?
Yeah, we have a great situation across the board, and it's only going to grow because this is where everything starts. We have to support them in the branding. The minute a new artist signs, we have to have those conversations. They have already an incredible brand, great. still at least explain it to us so we're informed, so we know. Let's take that. Let's support you fully from the top down, full suite on the content side. And then that all goes to the marketing department and they amplify.
How do you know who to hire, and why did you make those hires within those 14 to 18 people? You don't have to go into the detail unless you want to, but what made you decide we need this, we need that, we need this?
We look at it, and credit to Joey Moy, our president, because he came up with this analogy of it's like the publishing company. Like, we are just the content version of the publishing company. Our editors and our videographers are the producers, our strategists are the songwriters, and then our director is like the executive producer / mix engineer. So it's like we need to be able to pair artists with a producer and a songwriter and an engineer, kind of create that like group that they trust. And that strategist is writing ideas with them, helping them bring what ideas they might have swirling around in their head. Let's write that out. Let's bring that to life. The editors, the videographers are like the producer. Now, how do we put a tangible deliverable, an asset, just like a master? How do we put a tangible deliverable, actual videos to that? And then we just continue to kind of build their relationship up. And more trust, which happens over time. Like the first shoot we do with every artist, like on the agency side and on the label side, like it's never perfect. But like you need to build that relationship, build that trust, get that fearlessness that we talked about earlier. Like get that fearless factor to really shine from the artist so they can be fully them on camera. And that's not going to happen the first time a new team and a new group works together with a camera involved.
Right. Are you doing a lot of that prep work now prior to that and saying to the artist, hey, this is all new for us. Let's figure out how to connect as best as possible?
We put the artist at the forefront of everything. We don't tell them, and that is the biggest qualm that we have always heard, especially on the agency side, like as artists are like, we're hiring you because there's no ideas or they're forcing things on us. We are the total opposite.
Okay.
We don't do anything that is like a sole idea of somebody in the building or in the company or in the agency that the artist didn't formulate from them somehow, some way that they've got buy-in on, that they've approved, that they've subscribed to, and that they're willing to do.
Interesting.
It's never you're doing this. It's, hey, you mentioned this.
Yeah.
We have an idea to turn it into this. What do you think? Great. Now let's take it back to us and let's make sure you've approved the initial seed of the idea. It's you. It came from you. We've melded it a little bit more, brought it back to you. You approved it. Because we have that trust. Now, how do we make it the most engaging? Actually, like now it's content that works algorithmically. We know you love your intro, but hey, you trust that we're going to bring the vision to life. We're just going to do the pre-chorus in this video.
Right. Now, what happens when you get to the stage of you're going to execute now, but the execution isn't what was expected of the artist? How do you go back to the drawing table there?
I mean, that's why we have to really, really, really do our due diligence always during the pre-production process of like, you never want an artist to show up on a shoot day and be like, why are we doing this? I didn't know we were doing this. I don't want to do this.
Right.
We have to and that's why we use like a TV show strategy of like your entire artist career is the TV show. Every year that goes by is a season. Every month of content's an episode. Every post is a scene in that episode. Just like Friends or How I Met Your Mother or any of these shows, like the overall show has a storyline. Each season has its own, but each episode has its own plot line. And then there's like individual scenes that'll pop off on social media. Like, oh, that one scene from that one Office episode.
Wow.
So we're like, okay, that's how we look at it. Everything's got to serve the overall
That's brilliant.
grander story. Each post is the scene. It's got to serve the episode, which has got to serve the season, which has got to serve the show. So what is our narrative? What are we going through right now? And the artist has to be at the forefront and the driving factor of those conversations. So then when we're actually planning that month's worth of content and doing that shoot, they are showing up knowing like, this is my TV show. I'm the director. I'm the writer of my show. This is the crew that brings it to life. But at the end of the day, it's my show and I'm excited to do it. And we're not just going to rush a shoot to rush a shoot. And that's like one of the other incredible things about everybody at the label is like, we know that we have to get it right. So So if we have to move release dates, if we have to move things around to make sure that like the artist is bought in and it all feels them and they're like showing up ready to roll, and the process is going, then we go. Because you could sense as the viewer, the label made this artist film this one lip sync visualizer, and you could tell they didn't want to do it. We don't want that. That should never happen.
Right.
So we got to just keep revising what it looks like until they're like, I can't freaking wait for the shoot day. I hate content. We've had the ship turn around so many times with Unleashed and Big Loud of like artists that like came in like, oh man, I just want to make music. I don't want to make any content. And now they're like, when's that shoot? That was freaking great. I can't believe like you guys got me like that on camera, and I didn't think I could be that way. And this, I always thought this was a cool idea, but I didn't think I would do it for myself. And like when you see that passion and emotion come out of someone who like didn't want to do it allegedly, it's the best.
How important is that passion and emotion within the record label?
It's a necessity.
Yeah, because I find that sometimes you have people that are at the major label that have been there forever and they're just, waiting to get the pension. Do they have pensions here in America? Is it pension? I want to say it's like you're getting to your retirement. Like it's just
like the 401k.
That's it. That's Canadian shit. Okay. So in Canada, when you're trying to get to your pension plan, basically to get your retirement, so your 401k, it's like, they got people who are just going through the motions. You would say that the passion and the excitement is absolutely necessary. And it sounds like at Big Loud, and this is an endorsement for them. I don't know the people there, but it sounds like that team is firing on all cylinders. You got people who are just hungry. They don't treat it like a job, it seems like.
It's not. It's another dream job. And I always we do our daily meetings within the department every day. And I always say half as a joke, but also kind of serious of hey, listen, there's, a million different ways to get by in the world. Bank, pharmacist. But if you're not in this past, hey, clocking at 9, I'm out at 5, and you're not passionate about this because it is what you love, and you have all these intangible things within you where you're like, I love this artist. I have to make sure that they feel supported so that they can be at a level to where I know they can get because they are changing lives with their music. And if you're not going in every day like that, then there is a bank, there is a pharmacy, but we have to cultivate a team where that is the standard. Excellence is the standard, and that excellence comes from passion.
I had an incredible conversation with Nick Ruffalo. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Yeah, he's the man. We got coffee the day after that podcast launched.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you? What, you called him, or you just happened to?
He hit me up the day that I was watching. It was
amazing. Serendipity.
We're talking about you.
Okay, amazing. Hopefully, good things.
The best.
Appreciate that. Checks in the mail. Nick really broke down what A&R looked like when he was in the building. Does A&R still function that way in the building where you're working at?
Yeah, I mean, A&R is very much when it is the publishing company, it's just all about support at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I won't speak too much on that because it's not my department, but it is support.
Are you communicating with them on a pretty regular basis?
Not too much when it comes to informing any decisions either way.
Yeah.
But it's having that unified front across the different departments and saying, hey, if an artist says something to whether it's A&R, marketing, radio, of they're feeling this way, how could we all collectively come together with the same unified front on how to, uplift that and support that without it being well, this person thinks this and this person told me this. It's no, how are we and we do that so much, and it is a smaller team comparatively to other massive corporations, to where we can kind of come together before, there's a response delivered so that we all know this is how we're addressing this situation, to make sure that the artist feels everybody in the building understands where they're coming from or why they brought this up. And then they walk away being wow, that was awesome. Everybody gets me.
Yeah.
Whether it's A&R who handles music or audience engagement who handles my content, they all are looking at my project, my livelihood with the same lens. I love it. And that's what we have to always be communicating on and bringing to them.
Now, where do labels get it wrong, you think?
I think it's just taking for granted the fact that you do need to put the artist at the forefront of making sure, because again, if you don't have artist buy-in, you don't have a business, because everything has to come from them. Like, can you imagine if this artist would get dropped, but if an artist was like, yeah, I'm just not going to record vocals ever. Now the songs don't exist. So it's like that same framing of it is like, if someone's like, I'm never going to film or post ever. I'm not giving you anyone my logins to anything, so you can't even get in and post for me. Like, there just nothing will go out ever. If you don't have that, then you can't move anything up any ladder.
Right.
So it's like, if you're a label who like can't understand that and understand that like you have to bring the artist into all the conversations and make them feel supported from all angles so that they are more than willing and bought in to film and post and bring their vision to life and figure out their branding and communicate their branding and film content and post the content, then it's only a matter of time before like that doesn't yield fruitful for either party.
Yeah. So bringing all these services in-house is of the utmost importance for a label instead of hiring outside agencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you need that trust in that relationship. You need the artist to see, if the artist has a label in which they could see that label as like, they're doing all of this to help me. This is like my, very corny, but like, this is my family that like, chosen or not, like I was born into this family, quote unquote. So I have to figure it out. I can't just like rotate through agency after agency after agency and play the blame game and excuses when like at some point it's like we just gotta all get together and figure it out because we're stuck for better or for worse. Yeah. And that leads to those tougher conversations with a little more like fire. Yeah. Because like, hey, listen, like we don't have to like hold our tongues because like this artist is like approaching their 30-day, retainer period over. We can like tell it how it is because we have time to really figure it out
and develop.
Artist
development is still a big thing
with us. It's
with the label, yeah,
huge.